Ndị be anyị ndewonu. Ọ bụ Ada Igbo na-ekwu na Igbo Media. N'Igbo Media, anyị na-ewetara unu ọtụtụ ozi gbasara ihe na-emegasị na Biafra land, n'ala Igbo na mba ndị ọzọ. N'ụbọchị nke taata, o nwere ihe bịara n'iru akwụkwọ anyị nke anyị ga-agụpụtara unu n'ụbọchị taa. Anyị gụpụtachaa ya, unu egee ya ka ọha n'uju. Ị ga-esie ya, ị drọpụọla your comment, like kwa this our video and gbasakwa ya ka o ruo ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche arụ. This is according to Biafra activists wetara ya ozi n'ihu akwụkwọ as he quoted, "Breaking news, Biafrans rejoice, nobody should be forced to be in one Nigeria. Northern elders drops bombshell." Ya bụ akụkọ ka anyị ji wee bịa taata na Igbo Media. Ị ga-esi ya bụ akụkọ, gwa anyị chere na comment section, gbasakwa ozi a ka ozi a rute ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Ngwanụ gere ya ka ọha n'uju.
We have to confront the fundamental contradiction of Nigeria, that we are governed not by the will of the people but by a constitution that robs us of our sovereignty. Let us speak frankly to the state of our union, which is fractured but not beyond repair. Our federation is in distress. Our democracy is in disrepute, and our people, the very source of power in a true republic, have become totally disenfranchised and therefore disillusioned and detached and alienated.
People of my generation believe in Nigeria. We have no doubt about the fact that we have no option but Nigeria. However, I think a few of my colleagues believe that there's no such thing as the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. Of course it is negotiable. Even the unity of a family is negotiable. Even the coexistence as a couple of a husband and wife is negotiable.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Thursday, the 24th day of July 2025. Let's talk, let's reason together about the issue of compatibility in Nigeria. I will continue to say this. I'm not going to get tired of saying this because I discovered that we have few Nigerians, I mean very few people in this place called Nigeria, that do sit and begin to think about the future of their children, about the future of their generations to come. People don't do that because they are occupied with either what to eat, what interests them, including politics. Politicians are always thinking about next election. Nobody have time to think about the future generation. They are only thinking about themselves now. I have traveled to few countries, and part of these countries, the old country, when I mean the old country, I'm talking about countries with history that you know, like Egypt. The last time I went to Egypt was last year. I was in Egypt for 2 weeks. I've been to Greece. I've been to Italy. These countries I'm mentioning, I've been to Libya, though in Libya I didn't have time to think when I was in Libya because you're always moving and watching your back. But in Egypt, Greece, in Italy, anytime I am in these countries, I do think about one thing. These countries have history of 1,000 years before Christ, that is BC, 2,000 years BC, and these countries are still existing up to today. So I do some findings. These countries, one way or the other, they had problem before, right? What was the problem they had before? The problem they had before, they are majorly invasion. For example, other countries want to come inside their country to conquer them. And I discovered one thing, that any country that was unable to defeat people who came to invade them, they don't exist up to today. So many countries that people invaded, they are no more today. Their history is gone. Their generations gone. I am going to somewhere because a lot of old people in Nigeria like to use the sentence, Nigeria is not negotiable. Nigeria did well to us. They are not even considering also. They are not considering the future generation. They are only considering themselves because Nigeria is doing well for them. Nigeria is not killing them like Nigeria is killing people now. Despite today, we still have people who are still benefiting from this corrupt system in Nigeria. Now, if these countries, the reason why they are still standing today, despite their old histories, because they were able to defeat people who invaded them, I can tell you that Nigeria is negotiable because Nigeria is not able to defeat their invaders. In fact, the invaders are running them. The invaders are killing them. The invaders are doing everything you can think about. This is a very serious problem.
I am almost 100 years old now. I was born in 1925. So I'm getting to 100 years. I know what is possible, I know what is not possible. I will not venture into something that I know is not possible. Read the papers. How many people are now supporting going back to regional setup? Where are they from? North, west, south? See, because this is a democracy. In a democracy, everybody has the right to express his opinion. Yeah. That opinion does not constitute majority unless it is tested. You see, you will have few people who talk about this or that, but what you need to do is to take the totality of the people of Nigeria and the totality of the people who are agitating for going back to regional setup and compare which one is more in number, size, and influence. Then you'll be able to determine whether it's a possible project or whether it is just wishful thinking.
Eminent leaders of conscience, representatives of geopolitical zones, members of the press, and fellow Nigerians. Let me begin by commending the patriots for their vision, their courage, and their unwavering commitment to convening this historic summit. In a nation burdened by silence, convening a dialogue of this magnitude, though not for the first time, not the first of its kind, is an act of bold patriotism. As the son of the South-South, and as one who has carried the burden of this nation's dream across many decades, I stand before you not just to offer goodwill, but to lend voice to the truth that has often been expressed and can no longer be deferred. This summit is not another routine conference. It is a defining moment. Perhaps it is the last peaceful opportunity we have to confront the fundamental contradiction of Nigeria, that we are governed not by the will of the people, but by a constitution that robs us of our sovereignty. Let us speak frankly to the state of our union, which is fractured but not beyond repair. Our federation is in distress. Our democracy is in disrepute, and our people, the very source of power in a true republic, have become totally disenfranchised and therefore disillusioned and detached and alienated. We from the South-South region join other zones across the country who have agreed that this union is not working as it is. It can only be sustained if it is restructured on the basis of equity, justice, and mutual consent. Now, the patriots have called us for us to examine certain things: the legitimacy of the 1999 Constitution, the viability of our current political system, the path towards restoring true sovereignty to the Nigerian people. This agenda, therefore, is not only the right one, but it is in fact the only one that matters now. We endorse it in its entirety because the truth is this: The 1999 constitution was not the people's constitution. It was a military decree imposed without the consent of the people. The military suspended the 1963 constitution, which remains the last legal expression of our people's collective will and agreed terms of condition for staying together. That constitution, I'd like to emphasize, was suspended. It was never repealed, proscribed, or abrogated. At the end, rather than lift the suspension and restore a legitimate constitution, it was instead replaced with a fraudulent document that begins with a lie that says, "We the people." This document was not even submitted to the National Assembly for adoption or ratification before it was put into use. The people of Nigeria were not consulted, we did not consent, it was foisted on us, and our sovereignty was therefore stolen. Now, let us look at why our present political system cannot work. We are running a democracy where election results are determined not by the ballot, but by various other undemocratic means. Representatives and leaders are selected by a few and imposed. They are not elected. Power flows from the party barons and not from the people. Public service is privatized for profit, to individual profit, and not for national purpose. This is not democracy. This elite authoritarianism with scant democratic decoration on it. And the people know it. That is why voters turn out declines, as we saw in the last election in Lagos. That is why trust in the government is dead. This has been exacerbated by the departure from a functional federal system to an imperial presidential unitary system, which we practice at the moment. Unless we act now, we reverse this situation, the country is bound to go into fragmentation. So we, in consultation with other leaders and the competitors, a group that I lead, believe the following must be addressed in the new constitution. Sovereignty must return to the people. We must get rid of this unitary system and reinstate the federal system of governance that our founding fathers had agreed to. True federalism must be guaranteed maximum autonomy to the federating units. Cost of politics must be brought down to open space for inclusiveness and real leadership. Unicameral legislature with ministers appointed only from elected representatives must be reinstated. Real mechanisms for accountability, recall, and sanction for non-performing and deviant public officers must also be instituted. Impunity must end, transparency must begin. Elections must be driven by ideas and integrity, not by money. And finally, party leadership must grow from within the party. For this summit to be considered a success, the critical questions that have to be answered are, is the relationship between the nations that form Nigeria working? If not, why? And what new terms can be made to make it work? Is the Constitution helping to unite, coexist for people to coexist peacefully and prosper? If not, why? And what can we do to make it?
Ngwano dalo nene no umunnem dikun sinesera ni Igbo media. Gini kunu nwere ikwu na nkọwa nke unu. Gbasta maka ihe nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Gwa ya ife iche n'ụdị nke gị. Deela ya n'akara kọmentị ka mara ihe i chere. Ma chetakwa tụsa ya bụ ozi ka o were ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị.
Ndewo ụmụnne m, ka emesịa nụ.